Alright guys, so today what I'm doing is I'm just touching up my broadheads. I shoot the Steel Force traditional 300 grain. It is a two-piece, but it does the job. I got a 100 grain insert in here in the shaft, and I shoot the Sirius Supernova 250. It has a 4-fletch. This is the Ranch Fairy Special. So pretty much all I use to sharpen is I have two different pieces of sandpaper. I got a 400 grit for kind of shaping the blade a little bit. Then I also have a 800 grain or 800 grit piece of sandpaper. And then after I do that, I just have a piece of cereal box taped onto my workbench. And then I have a strop. This one's made by Knives Plus. It's a good strop. It's on a solid block on like a piece of composite, so it gives you plenty of backing, so it's not too soft and it stays firm. But just to show you guys, I do everything by hand. I don't have a jig or anything like that, but the end result comes out the same. When I use the sandpaper on these, I have to take the ferrule off, because if not, it removes a portion of the ferrule, and I don't want to lose any weight. So that's how I retain my weight, is by disassembling the broadhead. But normally what I do is take a Sharpie, color in the blade part of the broadhead, and I'll run it on the 800 or on the 400 grit until my marker's gone, and then I'll mark it again, color in that blade part, use the 800 grit until my marks are gone, and then I'll reassemble the broadhead, put it on my arrow, and I'll run it on the cereal box first, just because I think it's got a little more ability to take maybe the burr off or something like that. But you got to make sure that there's a burr on your back side. If you shoot a single bevel, there'll be a burr right here. And what I do sometimes is I take and run the flat side of the broadhead along my strop, and if I see marks on the strop, that means I still have a burr. So I'll take it back to my cardboard and I'll drag it back on that a couple times. And if it's too big of a burr, you can run it back to the 800 grit. But this here is just to show you guys, you don't have to have a sharpening jig or anything like that. It takes a little while to get used to, because you have to find the angle. But what I do, I just push it down like this, and you can see the gap right there. I'm all the way down on my blade edge, so I just push that across a couple times, take it to the strop, run it backwards to make sure there's no burr, take it across the strop a couple times, get it polished up a little bit, and then you always got to test it. That's the fun part. I just use regular notebook paper or whatever I got laying around. And you want it to cut smooth. And you can hear how sharp it is just because it don't tear. And it don't have leave little burrs on the paper. There's nothing there. So that's just to show you guys don't have to buy all the fancy stuff that a lot of guys promote. You don't have to have that stuff. You can do it right here in your garage by yourself. I highly recommend sharpening your broadheads. It's the only way to do it. If not, your penetration is you're gonna lack penetration. If you have any comments, go ahead and leave them. This is my first video. I don't know if I'll make any more. Just thought I'd do it out here in the garage board. So thank you guys, and that's how I sharpen my broadheads.